I wanted to do another video. This one is kind of like off of the last video I did on colorism. Um, to me, I feel like, I've talked about this, but with people wanting to believe in colorism who aren't dark skinned, I feel like often people love to believe in colorism, or they love colorism because of how good it makes them feel. Okay? Um, I know people love to think that it's the people who, talk poorly about dark skin. And sure, yeah, those people probably do too. The ones who are just like, you're not as light as this and that, and you're not as, you're as dark as this, and I'm better than you because I'm lighter and stuff. I'm not talking about people like that though. I'm not. I understand, of course, some people do like colorism for those purposes, but that goes without saying. They kind of say it themselves. Some of them actually say it. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who don't say that they like colorism. Maybe they pretend they don't like it. But, for example, and I'll use her as an example, she's not the one who's inspired me um, to talk about this topic, but I forget her name. Her name's kind of like, it kind of sounds like Rihanna. It sounds like Rihanna, kind of, but it's not. She's light skinned and she talks about colorism issues. She did a video on Danny Lay once. I don't know if anyone knows who I'm talking about, but her name starts with an R. And she would always be like really colorist, basically. Her comments and stuff, and angry if you didn't believe colorism exists. But she would claim that basically, you know, some type of colorist behavior was done against dark skinned black women, and how negative and bad it was that black dark skinned women were treated improperly because of colorism. People like that like to bring up colorism and call out colorism because it points out that that dark skinned person is viewed less than them. They like to point those things out because it makes them feel better than dark skinned black women, saying, oh, poor you, and poor you that you're dark skinned. These people are treating you poorly because you're dark skinned. They're not treating me poorly because I'm light skinned, is what they're saying, but they didn't put that part in there. They kind of left that out, but you can kind of see that's how they behave. And like, I would point out that colorism didn't exist, and they get all angry, at the fact that I didn't believe colorism exists, and in that case that they would bring up, and other cases that they bring up, I would point out how, that's not real. Colorism isn't real. You're just wanting to see it because of whatever reason, because it makes you feel better about being black. It makes you feel better because white people put you down, kind of thing. And they'd be very insecure and unhappy about the situation. I would never tell them it's because they want to feel better than dark skinned people, but I knew that was why. Um, and there's another situation where I would see people, talk. And this, to me, has a lot to do with what I was saying in the last video. And people try to make it seem like dark skinned black women can't get dark skinned black men because they're dark skinned and they're unblonde. It makes lighter skinned people feel better than them because they're like, he likes them more than you. You can't even find a dark skinned black man that wants you, so you have to go to another race, kind of thing. It makes them feel good about the fact that dark skinned black men choose them. And I mean, I was just watching one video where they're talking about how dark skinned black men are rejecting them, rejecting dark skinned black women in favor of lighter skinned women. And the person who was showing this was a lighter skinned woman. She was my color. And she wasn't like really light skin like the other person, but she was lighter, you know. And, you know, that is often a tactic used to feel better about the situation, basically, because they'll basically act like, you know, dark skinned girls, you know, should be basically, you know, going to other races and going where they are wanted because they're not wanted with dark skinned black men because they like me over you kind of thing. And I don't know, to me it's like I find it like pathetic from my perspective. It's just like so pathetic. You need your self esteem uplifted by someone who's fucking broken? A dark skinned black man who hates himself is fucking broken, okay? He doesn't like his own dark skin. And you mean to tell me you are so broken that you're willing to take this man who hates himself as your man, or take it as a reason why you feel good about yourself? So you are being able to feel good about yourself over someone being broken? Like, that is a messed up situation. You must hate yourself really badly that you need to be uplifted by the most broken individual. And, you know, the only people who ever accept colorless black men are very broken individuals. Nobody accepts a broken, dark skinned man who hates his own skin tone and uplifts someone else's skin tone, besides a broken woman, in my opinion. Because most of the time, people may be with someone of a different complexion, but they'll be of the mindset that, um, you know, they just happen to like someone of a different complexion. Not that they don't like themselves. Otherwise, someone won't take someone who, if they have a good self esteem with themselves, they won't take someone they think is broken or something's wrong with them. And most people perceive people who don't like themselves or like people who look like them to be broken, to be messed up people. Okay? And I know people will ask me, well, what about you? Why don't you prefer your own? That's the thing with me, I prefer what I am. I do. I prefer men that are my complexion. I've always said I don't prefer dark skinned men. I've always actually preferred men that are my color over white men. People always think just because I don't like dark skinned black men, that means I like white men more than everybody and I'm uplifting whiteness. It's like, no, there's a whole bunch of other things in between white and black. You wish it was just a difference of white, black, done. You would feel so close to whiteness, wouldn't you? You guys are pathetic. But point is, you know, there's a lot in between a dark skinned black man and a white man. And for me, I do prefer what I am. But the thing is, I'm not even saying like sexual attraction, because some people aren't attracted to what they are, okay? And that's fine, but I'm saying if you don't like yourself, you know, you don't want to have kids that look like you. Now, when I say colorist, it's not actually having a preference. I'm saying it's someone who's actually very negative towards other people of other complexions and people who are, for example, don't want their kids to look like them, things like that. You know, not just having a sexual attraction. To me, sexual attraction is different because we can't really control what how those parts work basically. Those parts work however they work. Some people are gay and they're so sad that they're gay. They wish they weren't, you know. It's not something you can control, you know. Sexual attraction is just what it is. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying specifically colorists. But anyway, the point is, to me, I just think that a lot of people don't pay attention to, you know, who is actually getting off on dark skinned black women being rejected by dark skinned colorist black men. And it's usually those who push colorism and act like they side with dark skinned black women. They get off on it because it makes them feel that much better about not being dark skinned. And that's just sad, in my opinion. It's sad because why do you have to have such a low self esteem that you need to feel better about, you know, feel better than dark skinned women by feeling better by them being rejected, Like, you don't have any self esteem, obviously. And I just think that the whole situation is just sad because it's like, in reality, you're saying that you feel less than everybody who's lighter than you. And this is the only way you can feel better. You shouldn't be playing a game like this. Like I said before, when we're talking about like colorism hierarchies, no black person should play the game of who's the lightest because we're all gonna lose because white people always win this damn game. You should feel better about yourself because of who you are and what you like to see in the mirror and, things of that nature. You're beautiful in your own way. You don't need to put down any dark skinned person or feel good about someone else's rejection to feel better about yourself. So, and by the way, this is not a video about crystal swirls or anything like that. It's specifically on some video I just recently saw. Um, who just happened to be similar complexion to me and her and things of that nature. But that's basically all I have to say. I just think people really don't pay attention to who's really basically, I guess, laughing at dark skinned women's expense, which is so sad. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Bye.